Hello Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video where I'm going to challenge what I think is probably one of the biggest status quos at the minute in Airsoft, and that is buying rifles with the sole intention of upgrading them. I always see in every single Airsoft group that I go into, people are going, I'm going to buy this rifle, I'm going to buy this M4, I'm going to buy this SMG, what's the best upgrades for it? And I'm here thinking, why is that a thing? Why do we need to go into something purposely to upgrade it? You know, unless we have like a specific purpose, like if we're going to be buying like a sports car for a specific race or something like that. Like why are we going in with that mentality? It's no secret that I enjoy cheapy rifles and I like to see how good they are. Like I feel like I've been at the kind of low to mid-end spectrum in terms of, you know, spending money on buying riffs. The most expensive riff I have is the SRS A1, which is somewhere. Where are you? Oh, it's there. This chap here, although now I've zoomed in, you can't really see. This chap here, he is definitely by far the most expensive riff that I own. And you know what? At the moment, he is my least used rifle, which is absolutely insane. I originally got him as the 26-inch long boy, but then that was just way too long for me, especially for a bullpup rifle, so I shortened him down to the not quite covert and not quite sport. He's kind of in between it. He's about 17 inches as opposed to being 16 or 18, which is what these come in. I don't really use him too much. And it's not because he's bad, and it's not because he underperforms, and it's not because of, you know, I can't shoot people with him, because I can. The reason why I'm not using him is just because I'm not really enjoying this platform much anymore. And I think it's because of, you know, a few different factors that this rifle has. One, it's quite heavy. Two, the bolt pull I'm not super comfortable with. It doesn't feel like that great. Three, the bolt pull isn't that smooth. Four, the magazine issue was a problem, although I did fix it with my SRS to M4 magazine adapter. Apart from those things, I love this rifle. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I can't really explain why I don't really use it anymore. I just want to use other ones. You've probably seen my cheapy videos about the VSR 10 that I got, the Well MBO 3A, and he is super cheap compared to that rifle. £54 this cost me. And the SRS A1 cost 18 times that, which is quite a lot. That's actually insane when you come to think about it. 18 times more. I could have got 18 of those rifles instead, but I got that one. Oh, blimey. That's absolutely insane when you think about it. And it's even more insane when you think about the fact that I actually prefer to use that than I do the SRS. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why? Why would that be the case? And it purely comes down to an enjoyment factor. I guess because that's so cheap, yet it performs really well. And that's without any modifications. It just performs really well out of the box, like just straight as is. I guess there's this extra sense of fun or pleasure or enjoyment that I've got from using that, because I need to use that rifle in a certain way in order to make it, you know, perform well. The same with any gun, really. Like you cannot force a riff to perform in a certain way. You're going to get a riff and it's going to be, you know, it's going to shoot really far, it's going to shoot really fast, or it's not going to do those things. And it's up to you, the player, to decide how your playstyle works with that riff to get the best thing out of it. If you've got a short range, low FPS, kind of like, you know, low rounds per second as well, low rate of fire rifle, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad rifle. It just means that it might not fit in with your playstyle. For example, my friend Gio, who lives like over there, he has an M4, which is currently on my floor right here. And it's in pieces because I'm working on it at the moment, because it's not that great. It's as it was really naff. What is it? It's an ASG M4. I bought it for £60 from a man at an Airsoft boot sale. And you know, as a first rifle, it's perfectly fine. The bad thing with it is that its FPS sucks, it's not really accurate, and build quality isn't amazing. It's certainly been bashed around a little bit, is probably the best way to say. However, does Gio let that get him down? No, he doesn't. He just plays around it. He knows that it hasn't got range, so he knows that he has to get close to people and be sneaky, and that's something which he is now enjoying doing. You know, at the start he was a little bit, I think, let down by it. We didn't like shoot super far, but he doesn't really know how to tech guns, which is why I'm now doing this here for him. And he was just like, okay, well, this is how it works, so I'm just going to get on with it. And he still gets kills, he gets in really good positions, and he makes it work for him. So yeah, like I think having a preconceived idea about what a gun is going to be and just trying to force a gun into a certain pigeonhole of how you're going to run it isn't really the right way to play. Like when you're starting Airsoft, 100%, I think everybody should just get an M4, because you can later down the line decide to modify or change that riff in order to make it work more for what your play style is. If you like the run and gun aspect, you can shorten it down into more of a PDW style riff, or if you want to try a bit more of a further away play, you can extend it out into like a DMR type build and then see if you enjoy that, and then from there you can then put money into something which, you know, is more for your type of play style. But I digress. The whole point of this video was to talk about why we buy riffs purposely ready to upgrade them. And I don't think that that's necessarily something we should be doing. I completely understand that's controversial, but bear with me. I'm the kind of guy who, I like to get things, I like to take them apart, and I like to, you know, understand how they work. So then if something goes wrong in future, I know how I can fix that. And generally speaking, I'll get something, and if it does break, I won't look to just replace that part. I'll look to put in something better, so then I won't run into that same issue again. But I think that because the way that we're all so obsessed with buying rifles to upgrade them, it seems that there's almost like a new barrier to entry created for all of these new people coming into Airsoft, thinking that, you know, if they want to play, they need to get a rifle and then they straight away, they need to do the barrel, they need to do the hot probber, they need to do the spring, they need to do all of these things when they really don't need to do that. I would say that I was definitely on the boat of, when I get a rifle, I'm going to upgrade the barrel, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And there was like 3 or 4 different upgrades, which I would be like, I need to do this before I even attempt to take this riff out in the field, because it's not going to be anywhere near good enough for the performance that I want. The thing that I've learned from doing these cheapo build videos is that, surprisingly, that's not the case. Like, again, this cheapo VSR, that cheapo M4 I've got there, I've got cheapo pistols before in the past as well. And you know what? I've ragged on some of them, for sure, but now looking back at those, I've realized that it doesn't matter if you've got a pistol that can only shoot like 20 feet. The reason why you use a pistol is because you're pushing in like a close quarters room. Like, there's not going to be a room longer than 20 feet that you're going to need to use your pistol on. So that's perfectly fine. This sniper rifle's super cheap, but I can still hit targets out at 75 meters. Granted, it's not like every single shot hits and I need to like lob a BB over there. But you know what? It can still do that. And if I am able to hit those shots at range, that kind of shows that I'm skillful at being able to use that tool in that way, you know? And if I have got an M4, which is super inaccurate, doesn't have a long range, and the spring I can just compress in my hands like this, that just means that if I am able to use it well, I'm a better player as a result, you know? When I interviewed Mustang on that podcast, he said about how, I think it was Cam Man, he's got a sniper rifle that is essentially easy mode, you know? Like, you see somebody out there, you put your crosshair on them, you pull the trigger, it goes, and then you get a kill. And it takes a lot of skill in order to build a rifle that has that amount of power and accuracy, and, you know, it must be really enjoyable to use. But I kind of feel like on the opposite side of that spectrum, if you've got something which isn't easy to use and hasn't had hundreds and hundreds of pounds put into it, and you go out in the field and you can make it work for yourself, that's really cool. And I think that genuinely is probably the reason why I much prefer using this cheapo VSR at the moment over my, you know, expensive SRS, is because the SRS has got so much money put into it that if it doesn't perform, I'm upset. Whereas with the cheapo VSR, if it doesn't perform, I'm not really too bothered. But when I land a 6-shot with that, it is such a solid feeling. Like, it feels amazing. It feels nowhere near the kind of self-gratification that I receive when I land a kill with the SRS. With that, I get a hit and I'm like, okay, what's next? With that, I get a hit and I'm like, wow, that was such a cool shot. Like, I really want to get more of that. And that's a feeling that I love. So I'm here to tell you that you don't have to worry about getting upgrades straight away. Granted, if you're a techie and you're that kind of person, then please, by all means, go in, rip your rifle to pieces, see what bits you want to upgrade, buy them, put them in, and have fun. Because different people have fun in different ways. I've been both sides of that coin, and I think that at the moment, I'm at a position where I love the fact that I can enjoy Airsoft and that I can be combat effective at Airsoft with using something that is, you know, pretty much affordable by everyone. And that is something that's really, really cool. Thank you very much for watching. As always, this episode was sponsored by Project Airsoft, so go check out the website and pick yourself up some cool Airsoft accessories. Also, below in the description, you can find links to our Amazon affiliate codes, and there's also, you know, merch in there. Look, I'm wearing some merch now. Stay Fresh hat, boom. There's other stuff on there too, like mobile phone cases, like this one here, which I quite like. I think it looks really cool. So until next time, look after yourselves, remember to call your hits, and I'll see you in the next one.